So a couple quiz topics here. Just wanted to go over this just to make sure that we're, up to speed as far as vocabulary and naming things and a few items like that. So let's talk first about some vocab. One of the newer topics is the idea of a directed segment. Okay. So what this is like is it's like a vector in science. A directed segment, it has a set length because it stops, all right? Has a set length. It also has a direction. That's what makes it different from a regular segment, okay? So what I could have here is something like this. I could have AB, and really that could be two different figures, okay? We could name the AB with the segment symbol. That means segment AB. Okay? So it's really, what I try to teach students as well is it's all the points on the straight path between A and B and inclusive. Inclusive simply means you include those endpoints. Now, it's all the points. When we move to directed segment, A to B, okay, that's directed segment, A to B, okay? Now, it's still going to be all the points on the straight path. But it's a little bit different, moving from A to B. Now there's a little difference, okay? So you have to pay attention to the direction here. All right, so here's one of the quiz questions or something like it. Basically, is AB the same but a different name as BA? Now with segments, that is true. All right, they're the same, because we don't care about direction, we just care about it is the collection of the points between them. However, is A to B the directed segment the same as B to A? Okay, is that true? And the answer is no, that's false. Direction matters, so those are going to be different. So that's a small topic in that first, on that quiz that we're going to take here. This symbol, got to be careful. I'll also try to talk about this. There is the idea of array. Okay, array, remember, that keeps going in one direction. So it's different than a directed segment because it'll go further, it'll go past the endpoint. So here's the difference. Okay, let's say we go to line C, D. All right. So now on that line, we could specify ray, that's ray CD. So that means all the points on the straight path between C and D and beyond D. So what I'm saying is you're going to go from here and continue past it. It's going to cover all the points that are on this straight path. Okay. Now, so what's different about that? Well, it continues. So that is slightly different. CD, the ray, is not the same as CD, the directed segment. Okay, that's going to be a question mark. It is a false. The reason is CD, the directed segment, has to start at C and move to D and stop. So it's only the points along C to D in that direction. Where this ray keeps going, so it picks up other points. They are not the same figure. Okay, the symbol is so close though, you've got to pay attention closely on the quiz. Okay, that's a ray symbol. It's got the top and bottom of the arrow. This is a directed segment symbol. okay? It's only got the top of that. So I know it's really close, but you got to get the difference, okay? So that's the first topic that I wanted to go over. That's one of the questions that might stump a few students. So then there's some other ones. There's naming of different angles. Here's basically the situations or the angle pairs that we've studied that I want to really go over. The angle pairs we've studied started with linear pair, okay? Then we went to vertical angles. Now you can get those off of this right here, just one intersection. So think, these are coming from one intersection. And here's kind of how I did it on the quiz. Right? If I give you all these letters, okay, what I might ask you is one of the example questions. The sample questions is, what angle completes the linear pair with angle AED? You know, so we're looking for that. All right, so what I would do is I would use my highlighter and trace first A to E to D, and this is the angle that's formed, right? Now, the other thing I'd look for is we can ignore this for a second. We can just focus on the A to E to C part. We didn't really need that B. Okay, and then there's D. All right, if we've already had this angle from here to here, to finish it, we've got this straight angle that we need to finish. So the answer for that one is going to be angle D to E to C. All right, another similar question. Same, go back to the same diagram up here, okay? What angle completes, or what angle is the vertical angle to angle, I don't know, we'll go with, let's go with angle EBC. Sorry, wrong angle. BEC. All right, so BEC, if I draw that, use purple here. So that's the angle B to E to C. And you're going to go that way. Now, vertical is, you've got to have two pairs of opposite rays, okay? So let's sketch that in. I'll use green. So from E to A, that's one ray, and E to C, that's the other. Those are opposite rays because they make a straight line. Okay, same thing here, E to B, E to D. Okay, so that's another big concept. Think opposite rays. You need two sets of opposite rays to make vertical angles. Okay, so EB is one, right? That one, E to B. So what's opposite ray to it? It would be E to D, because they make a straight angle together. So opposite rays have to make a straight angle together. Those are the two sides of a straight angle. Okay, now the other pair is E to A, E to C, and then E to A. Again, those two combine to make a straight angle. Right? So then these two angles right here, they end up making vertical angles. So that's what I've got to write. So what's the answer to this one? Going to be angle DEA. So that's one of the types of questions you've got to be ready for. Okay, other ones, let's see, I can do another, type on the next video. Thanks for tuning in.